Hey, how's everybody doing? Real quick, just if y'all could let me know in the chat, how's the streaming? Is there any glitching? Is there any freezing? How's the audio? We'll begin here shortly, man. We'll have fun. We'll talk about something that involves everybody. Let me know. See you in a bit. Alrighty then. Can you guys hear me okay? How's everybody doing? Let's get this on the road. So, before I get things started today, one of the reasons that I'm reaching out to see um, how things are going is because I'm kind of on a new connection. And I just don't know. It's supposed to be a little bit better, but that's just you don't know till you try it, right? So here I am, and my main concern is obviously my connection is showing that it's good. I'm just not sure how well it is. What is this? Oh, well, that's cool. Okay. I'm just not sure how. No, I don't want to do that. Why is it asking me to do that? No, nobody wants to do any of that. Interesting. Okay. Um, my main thing is it freeze? Everything looks good. Okay, good. I'm just concerned about the freezing part of it. Is why I ask. You just never know. So here we are, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of something that involves everybody, whether you're an ambassador, whether you're showing things off to family, friends. It's a question that I've just been getting a lot of. I've been noticing, especially on social media, a lot of guys are just wanting to get that shot, wanting to get that, put themselves in a position where they're rigging appropriately to where you've got a great picture to show with family, friends, or perhaps you're a YouTuber tuning in. Maybe you're somebody who's looking into getting into the industry, whether it be an ambassadorship or some sort of pro staff or some sort of sponsorship, or like I said, YouTube. Maybe you're wanting to start your own kayak fishing show, and you're in a position to ask questions. I've been doing this for a little bit, so I can help you guys out, and I wanted to kind of open this episode up with some Q&A on rigging, man. Rigging is just one of those weird things where you can go so many different ways on a discussion about it. But the thing with rigging, man, is that's kind of what's special about it. There's so many like subcategories on rigging. So I didn't want to just talk about general rigging on this episode. I wanted to kind of hone in on a specific subject, which is just putting yourself in a good position for pictures, for video, So if you guys, while I'm discussing, if you guys are letting that hamster kind of turn, if you have any questions about that, you guys can go ahead and post them up, and I'll get to them whenever I decide to look over and start answering those. So before we get into it, man, I'll let you guys know what happened this weekend, a little fishing report. If you guys are tuning in and you're from Texas, this will be some good information for you. Shout out to those who are here. Let's see who I've got typing. I've got Luis, Noe, No Point Fishing, Hook, Texas. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in, and cheers, boys. It's Tuesday. We're here. We're alive. We're healthy, hopefully. And we're here to talk a little bit about kayak fishing. We had a pretty good on this show. If you're new to the way I like to do this live segment, so right here I have a ticker. Dude, that is weird when I got screens everywhere and I look in one direction. So right here is a. Can I do this? Or am I just like retarded? Okay. So right there is a ticker. That's the latest and greatest to my best ability, where I can sort of tell you where things are going to be this weekend, or this week rather. Man, we had some good weather this week. We had just basically calm-like conditions. If you guys follow us on Facebook or Instagram, there's pictures that you can look at. And when you look at the ocean, it's about as calm as it can get, man. And if you didn't get out there, you really missed out. It was a real good week or weekend, and it's going to continue to be a good week. But there's something you guys need to be aware of. We've got some storms brewing in the Gulf. Now, you may look at a weather prediction, and things are going to look kind of calm. So when you look at these, this ticker, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You really do need to watch some of these storms that are coming in, and they're going to be changing a lot. Now, one of the things that I've learned, one of the hardest things that I've had to learn through a little bit of fear factor, is usually when storms come and things still lay down, the one thing that can change is current. Depending on the way the storm is coming in, if it's tropical depression or if it's a hurricane that's getting ready to smash, your currents can change. Everything can be sort of sucking out. That can pose a lot of dangerous aspects to fishing, to being on the water in general. So be careful, whenever you think that you're going to pre-fish a hurricane or tropical storm, thinking that fishing is just going to be off the wall. I've done it. I've made that mistake. I can share some scary experiences. I'll tell you one thing though, the fish can wait. I've actually had more success after the storm rather than before, and just want to toss that out there as your public service announcement. So, but things are looking good. They're going to change here rather rapidly. I think maybe tomorrow might be one of the last windows where I would even think I'm not going to be out there, but that I would go to. Inshore, offshore has been just phenomenal, man. I got a chance to hang out with the Paddler's Playbook. Those guys are a pretty big, probably one of our largest podcast networks that kayak fishing has. And they sort of hit the scene by storm, man. If you guys love to hear and listen to podcasts, I highly encourage you guys to tune into them. I've been on one of those podcasts. Actually, I was on their first one. I was one of their first guests that Dustin had thrown out, and it was sort of covering this general area. I've got one there with him, and it was just kind of a soft introduction. And I've done also a podcast for the Kayak Bass and Beers guys. Or guy, and I hope I'm not. No, they've already announced this, so they're merging. So that guy will be joining forces, which I think is great, man. Puts him in a bigger audience, and he's a great guy. He really knows how to talk and how to answer questions. I've had a lot of good experiences from really all those guys. Very well put. So I don't know how we got off on that, but. Now that you guys know, you know. Oh, that's why. So I got a chance to hang out with one of the guys and his wife out there, and then Richard. We all just kind of have at it. We went and fished a little bit of Aransas. The weather was phenomenal, man. I actually ran into a guy who I'd been following over Facebook for a while. Didn't know it until after the fact. He took some cool pictures kind of in the background. I felt a little bad. I kind of got in his way a little bit. I didn't bring my my anchor, and I sort of was drifting, not really seeing where I was going. And that was kind of a funny thing. But we all got on fish. It was a little tough for us, though, but the fish were there in that particular spot, hole in time. So inshore, and then once we did that, just FYI, inshore guys that are tuning in, tides have been low. Fishing's been great. It's been easier to spot them. It's been easier to predict them. Being that we were in a sort of a new territory, at least for me, we kind of struggled a little bit. We saw a ton of fish, big fish, man. I mean, it's one thing. I hate it whenever the fish just don't cooperate. They don't want to eat, and you're just seeing these big old tails come out. You toss well ahead of them, and as soon as you bring the lure up to them to where they can see it, they just dart out, and they're just not ready, man. Sometimes you get those days. We saw a ton of fish, though. Not the best day inshore. Could have been a lot better had the fish been wanting to eat, but they just didn't. Following day, we went offshore, met up with my good buddy Robert Moore and Mark Garcia. Robert Moore is in a TI now, motorized TI. That name doesn't sound familiar to you guys. He was actually the guy on the boat when I caught the sailfish. Rodriguez and Moore were both out there. And it's always great to fish with Robert Moore, man. Real cool guy. And then Mark Garcia was out there, who's always tuning in every now and then here. I don't know if he's here right now, but we got out there, man, and we only fished for a couple hours. We did great, and we came back happy, dude. Caught a stud king. We've got into some Spanish mackerel. If you guys want to see pictures of that here on YouTube, actually, I posted up a picture under the community tab. So it was just a great weekend, man, and I hope y'all's weekend was just as good. So all that kind of whips around to getting it all on picture, getting it all on film. Now, this isn't a how I film. This is just a Q&A. If you guys have any questions about it. Lightning could be... let's see where we're going here. Everything looks good. Arturo, yeah, man, I posted one of those pictures. So there's this somewhat new community tab that YouTube has integrated. Each channel has one. It's kind of like they're trying to do like a Facebook, Instagram sort of stories, and you'll see a picture of that. I'll throw up a few more. I don't know if it's enough content for an actual video. Unfortunately, I might integrate some of that stuff. But, man, I ran into an issue, dude, with my battery, and it kind of ruined my day. It was my fault. I should have sealed the terminals a little better, because I was going to show you guys some real cool stuff. This next offshore episode was going to be mainly about looking at structure, like intent structure, and just picking it apart and slamming kings and learning how to identify kings on your fish finders, and how to get in their way, But we'll see what I can do. Oscar, how you doing, man? It's Seth. Seth, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Seth was actually out there. I think he was out there the day before, and they did pretty good. Somebody yanked out a... quote me if I might be wrong on this. I vaguely kind of remember seeing a post about this. Somebody yanked out a 52, I think, which is, holy smokes, like that's, I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if he actually had if it was measured legitimately on a flat board, fork tail, obviously nose to the bump. But at any rate, anything 50 plus in that area is really good. If that really was a 52, which I saw a picture of it, and it looked, it had some girth on it. That's the one thing about kings, man. Their identity changes more with girth than it does with length. The state record is for a kingfish is, I think, 56 inches. I've broken that, but I can't beat its weight. And there's a big difference when a king has weight versus when it's a skinny runner, man. The reason I can tell you this is because I've actually caught kings that were in the low 50 range, even high 40 range, but have so much body mass. They actually pulled and fought harder than my 55-inch kings and 57-inch kings that I've caught off the Texas coast. So it's funny, man. It's funny the way bookings or sort of designed. I'm doing great, Richard. Thanks for tuning in, man. So today we're sort of talking a little bit about rigging, man, answering any questions that y'all may have about that. I'll show you guys what I use. I've got some pictures here, actually. We'll go ahead and dive right into it. Yeah, Noe, that's what I plan on. I'm gonna use what I'm gonna use on this past videos. I'll use a little bit of B-roll from it, but I still need to get out there and actually. The only way I can make this episode really work is I need to be able to have that my transducer running, and unfortunately, it kind of pooped out on me. So, like I said, my fault. So let me show you guys some pictures here. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm going to show you guys one picture, and then I'm going to transition it. So this first picture is going to be sort of an inshore setup, right? I get it. Some of you guys here maybe enjoy watching big fish and offshore stuff, but you're an inshore fisherman, and there's obviously nothing wrong with that. So this first picture, man, right here is just an inshore setup. And one of the things that I look for right here is camera placement, right? So this is going to look a little confusing, obviously, but the main things that you really want to look at are behind my back. You're going to see a nice little boomstick, that little rail. And I always get a lot of people that ask, well, how are you getting these front and back shots? And not only just that, but here's an offshore. You'll see right behind me. This is a very simple layout here. You know, right behind me, I'm running one GoPro and then one up front. So you're getting kind of both aspects. But what you don't see, that you're about to see, is on this picture right here. If you see right where that paddle blade is at, right up above it, you're going to see a sneaky GoPro right there, which is that up front kind of a hero shot. You know what I mean? You get that hero shot is what I call it, man. The up close hero shot. And what I use, and if you guys are wanting or trying to look for a solution to take better pictures, post them up, you know, on your Facebook. Boomsticks is definitely the way to go. That's where everything is across the market. You guys know I use Kayak Gear, Railblazer products. If you don't know, now you know. There's others, you know. There's Yak Attack and a few others that are out there. But for how I enjoy fishing, for how rough and some of the conditions that I've rolled $400 to $1,000 cameras on, I have not had any of my boomsticks fail unless it was my fault. And what I mean by that is, so do I have one here? So what I use is Railblazer products. They're based out of New Zealand, but Yak Gear distributes them here in the U.S., which ships out of Houston, for those of you guys that didn't know. So Yak Gear is in Houston. A lot of people don't know that, but they are. Everything is basically, these days, everything's gear track. All about gear tracks. We want simplicity, right? We don't want to be drilling holes. We don't want to be piloting holes. We don't want to, you know, those days, unfortunately, not unfortunate, but it's a good thing, are long gone. We've had some wonderful companies like Kayak Gear and like Railblazer come into the market, and they've helped us change the game. They've helped us change our game, and it's a good thing, man, because, you know, my first kayak, dude, I was having to drill holes into the hole just to mount cameras, which is cool. Like, it was watertight at the beginning, but here in Texas, depending on where you're at, if it's hot, cold, you know, you get rotomold plastic when it transitions between seasons. You know, plastic expands, it shrinks, it gets tight, it changes, you know, so those holes will follow through with that, and things obviously get bigger with time, and then you start getting leaks, and it's just not good, man. It's not good. So in today's world of kayak fishing, everything's all gear tracks. If you don't have gear tracks, install them on your kayak. It's unfortunate if you have to drill a gear track, but you know that option is still there. The gear tracks that I use, so what Railblazer has, this is just a rod holder, by the way. On all my rod holders, whether I'm inshore or offshore, you're always going to see these. But what we're getting to is, I don't know if you guys can see right here, but this is actually what it fits into and locks in place. And so Railblazer has it's a star system. So basically, whenever you are installing their star ports, is what they call them, you can strategically put a star port on your tracks with track mounts anywhere you want. One of the unique things is once you put a star port, all the products go in and out. You're done. Like, you can basically buy anything from Railblazer and it's going to go right there. So with my camera booms, things are different, right? If I'm offshore versus inshore, all my stuff is going to be on tracks, or on star ports. Now, there's different forms of tracks. There's different forms of star ports on tracks. You guys can look at all that at railblazer.com. But I'm always looking for that front and rear shot. The rear shot's just a good vantage point, man. If you're a YouTuber starting off, one of the biggest things I can tell you, this is for YouTubers, don't let your videos lag on a scene for too long. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes, biggest issues that YouTubers do. I would say it's not good. And let me tell you why. So back when I got into this, nobody knew how to make YouTube videos. Nobody. I mean, there were some people that did, but there was a big problem with YouTube, and that's that the audience is different. So when you look at a television demographic versus a YouTube demographic, it's night and day. Your first initial impressions on your audience are going to be probably the first 5 to 8 seconds. If you don't get them on the first 5 to 8 seconds, you're going to lose probably half of the people that are not already following you or subscribers and just come across your channel. If you don't get them right there. And so what does that mean? It means that you need more scenes. In other words, what I'm telling you is the human eye is absolutely lazy. That tells everybody, it's what we've learned through demographics, is that if nothing looks interesting in the first 8 seconds or 5 seconds, nobody wants to watch it. And the case in point is, if you go and watch all these big YouTube guys, notice that right before their intro starts, there's usually something that happens. So like, you'll get like an opening scene where somebody's just like a big fish smashes, blank screen, and then the video starts. That's it's because those guys know the do's and don'ts, and they know already what they're doing. So I'm just looking at some of these comments here. I'll get back to those comments. Keep laying them, though. If you guys got questions about filming and recording, about mounting, accessories, rigging, all that stuff, lay it on me. So that's something you guys can take with you. Now, let's bring this back forward to what I'm talking about. So front and rear cameras, and why do you only have that first 8 seconds to grab somebody's attention? Basically, the eye is weird, man. You're gonna notice. You can go back on one of my videos and count how many seconds, and then before the shot changes. So what that forces you to do, as somebody who is interested in filming, or somebody who's interested in recording your adventures, or if you're interested in taking a picture, is that you need to have those positions, those points, to always change. I don't want you, as somebody who doesn't care about this stuff, but you enjoy watching this, I don't want you to sit back and have to sit on a scene without that camera changing for any longer than 5 seconds. It can go longer than that, but that's only if maybe something big is about to happen, or if I'm trying to prove a point, or if I'm talking to you like we are now. But outside of that, I'm wanting a front view, a rear view, a close view. And if you can't afford but maybe one camera, well, then great. Learn to stitch your zoom ins, your zoom outs. Zoom into a hand reel and zoom into some real drag. Zoom into your face, every now and then, just make a funny face. um, so yeah, so that basically is, where from a, like, going back to what I was saying for YouTubers. I know there's a few of you guys listening right now. Um, Create as much angles as you can, dude. And I know that puts a lot of stress on your editing, but that's just the nature of the beast. And if you're just a simple guy, you don't really care about all this stuff, you just enjoy watching it, but you're not trying to become a content creator. You just want something good to share to your Facebook, to your family, for your friends. Get one good long boomstick. The one boomstick that I recommend is from Railblazer. It's the 600 boomstick. Did I lose you guys? Oh no, I didn't lose you. Okay, I thought I dropped there for a sec. Just get one. Just get one up front. And the reason I say get the longest one you can get, which for me would be the 600, unless I stack two and then now you got a 1200, is because you want that big zoomed out shot. That'll give you a lot more to work with and to play with if you need to crop in. And not only that, but whenever you are getting those larger boomsticks to get your shots, you can always pivot them. So there's a few different type of boomsticks to mount your GoPros or DSLRs or any cameras. Robleza makes a shorter stock one. I think it's the 400. But the reason I don't really... I stay away from that one. Not that it's not... I mean, it's great. If you just want a close-up shot, I recommend that one. But I just feel like you get a little bit more versatility with the longer 600s. And if I want a close-up shot, well, then I can pivot it and transform it into something like that. So, yeah, man, if you're just trying to get good... You know what? Do I have... I'm going to show you guys... No, I don't have one here. I'll show you. Well, let's go back to this picture. Just so you guys can at least see or look at how long these 600s are. So those two black sticks right there that you'll see, the one in the front is a 600 boomstick connected to a star port, and then right behind me, that's another 600 with an extended elbow and a GoPro mount. The front one has a platform, the rear one doesn't. That's the only difference, but all connected through star ports. If I'm not filming that day and I'm just going to go out and have fun with friends, or if I'm going to a buddy's spot and I don't want to obviously film or step on his toes, that's his spot where he catches fish, you take off those camera booms and you just replace them with rod holders or other accessories. That's the unique thing about Railblazer products is once you put those star ports in, you can use whatever, dude. Cell phone holders, cup holders, rod holders. They have a variety array of different rod holders. Look at everything they have, man. You don't have to go direct. You can go to ack.com. That's where I recommend you guys to go. Oh, obviously, right? I mean, they are my outfitter, so naturally I'm going to tell you to go to austincanoeandkayak.com. They have a huge selection of accessories, kayak accessories. And if you're just not a fan of what I use and you want to see what else is out there, well, that's the website to go to. Go and check them out. Let's get to some questions here. So, let's see here. Okay, so Texas Redfish Fanatic says, just finished smoking my king from Saturday. Man, dude. Kingfish, they get such a bad rap for tasting bad, and they're not bad, man. Kingfish, they're good, but the problem is a lot of people don't know how to bleed them out, how to fillet them, how to prep them. Kingfish, man, they have a horrific bloodline, and a gushing one at that. Deep red, dark, looks like human blood. And you really you can't leave any of that stuff on the meat. You got to cut around the bloodline. I personally do not bleed them out, but it's a great idea to do so. There's a quick way to get some of the best primetime meat in a kingfish, and that's to do nuggets. The only problem with nuggets, You score the fish like a dozen times, if not more, along the side, and then you get your 2 fingers and you just pop them through the middle. The problem is that you waste all the other meat, so it's kind of a waste of meat. Not my favorite. It's my favorite way to eat it, but it's not my favorite way to actually appreciate a good kill. You know what I mean? Especially because I'm just not a big fan of wasting meat. But on occasion, I will do nuggets if I just have a lot of meat and maybe I just want to do a separate section. But other than that, I'm filleting mine and just really super sharp knife. It's a 4-barrel fish, man. So you got 4 loins on a king. You got your top loin on one side, and then you got your bottom loin, and then vice versa on the same side. So you get 4 nice strips, man. If you choose to fillet it like that, which I do, because right there in that middle between the 2 loins, you get that's where that bloodline is. So kingfish is very good. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The problem with kingfish, it doesn't have a great shelf life. You want to eat it that week, man. Whether you freeze it or not, just eat it. Plan to eat it that week. Your average angler says, why do most guys do a chest GoPro versus hat? Is it more stable or something? That's a real good question, man. So I've used both, but I don't use them. They work for a lot of anglers, but those aren't the shots that I'm trying to give. But they are great shots. They're a good PvP shot, I mean, not PvP, first-person shot. I'm thinking of video games here. They're a good first-person shooter shot. So, gosh, man. I have an action hat. Actually, I got an action hat right here. All right. Shout out to my homie Rex. Okay, this is an action hat. I've actually got the mount behind, so I'm not going to put it on right now, but, I would essentially mount a camera here, or you could also move your camera there, yada, yada, or what have you. A lot of people ask me how come I don't use the hats or the chest mounts, and like I said, I've tried. If I'm on foot and I'm doing some walking around, I will use a chest mount. It gives a good kind of like you're walking with me, but I won't sit on that shot for very long. It's more of like a live B-roll shot, if that makes any sense. Not a true B-roll, but it's like that just that different scene for a little bit shot. The reason I don't is because I'm all about big, broad viewing points. And I'll focus on a small section of like a lot of action. My hands are here, my paddle may be there, but I don't want to give you just that. I really want you to kind of get the background, the nature side of it, just the whole grand scheme of what it looks like when a kayak angler is sitting down, and then just give you little bursts of maybe a hat shot or a chest shot. Some of them, they like that, and there's some great YouTube channels out there that have a far better following base than I do, and that's all that they sit on. And more power to them, man. If that works, then great. It's hard for me to just be dominant on just those shots, but I do think they're worth it. There are some situations where, had I had an action hat on this particular scene, I would have captured something real cool for you to see. But man, dude, I'm too much of a comfort nut, if that makes any sense. My hat's got to fit right. I gotta be. I don't know. I'm weird. It's me. I've got nothing bad to say about a chest mount. I've got nothing bad to say about a hat because I use them. But I just sometimes, man, if it just doesn't feel right on me, it just doesn't feel right on me, and it's been tough for me to adopt that. But I'm working on a few things where I might integrate. One cool thing that I like about Rex's hat, it's a great design, and he's improved it a lot from the first generation. I have both his hats. I have the first and second generation. This is the second generation. And here, let me show you. So this is what makes the hat float. And this is shrunken down a lot, and it fits a lot better. But I haven't gotten used to it yet, man. It's been real hard for me to get used to it. And GoPros are a little heavy, and they push down. It's just every angler's different, every YouTuber's different. I just have not adopted this style of filming. And it is a great way of filming, man, because you can mount your microphones, your cameras up here. I feel too much forward weight, man, and reverse weight. I want to give you guys the front, the rear, and an up close perspective. And then I'll work on trying to maybe having a camera guy with me to give you guys like an actual cinematography kind of outlook, a third person or a drone shot. So I hope that answered your question. It probably didn't because it's obviously preference. Do you measure kings to the fork of the or the end of the tail? So I fork them, and that's how anybody who is going to take a record. Not that it matters, right? Because length doesn't really matter; it's weight. But any tournament that knows what they're doing, that knows how to measure a kingfish, yes, you'll fork the tail, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna want to, from the dorsal fin down, you're gonna fork it down. So from the top of the fish, you get your most length typically from that, unless one of the fins has been eaten up. But you do want to fork your tail. Yes, for an official measurement. Definitely been noticing that lately. Makes sense now. Gotcha. How many cameras do you take out with you? So Hook Texas, shout out to Hook Texas. He asked how many cameras. So I have 3 always lit up on me on my kayak. And then I have a drone. And then I also will try and at least have a buddy with me if they're out there who will help film a third person outside of all that. Doesn't always happen, but some of our older content, we did quite a bit of that. There's been a lot of growth this year, so there's a few things coming. A lot of changes coming, actually. We may be, without jumping the gun, I might be at least hiring some part-time help. We're looking at studio options for something in the very near future that we'll be discussing. And life is good, man, for now. So hopefully we keep at it. Where do you guys get your non-copyright music? You get a lot of, you can get your copyright music from a lot of different areas. YouTube actually gives you a lot. That's one area. There are a few companies that specialize on royalty-free music. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for royalty-free music. What royalty-free music allows you to do is it's not free, but it allows you to purchase a license so that you get the royalties from it. So once you monetize, and most guys aren't going to understand what we're talking about here, Mars, because they probably don't have YouTube channels. But once you get into monetization, it's very important that you use music that is royalty free. Otherwise, your videos are going to be paying them essentially. Look up Epidemic Sound. They have a subscription base. Just Google SoundCloud actually has some good stuff too. I've gotten some music off of them. There's a lot of independent artists that were more than happy to let you use their music. A lot of great artists. The difference would be that they want you to just give them credit. So, yeah. Epidemic Sound, or just Google royalty-free music. There's a bunch of websites out there, man. Top-notch websites that you can pick up, and you're gonna know what's funny is you're gonna notice that a lot of the music on there you're gonna start noticing on commercials. So everybody uses royalty-free music. That's kind of the norm these days. But I've got music that the UFC has used. I've had music that NBC Sports, Fox Sports, Um, we all get it from the same area, man. So just look around and you'll find it, man. Is it possible to start with your phone? Your average angler, man. Let me tell you something, dude. You ask a very good question. Your average angler, is it possible to start with your phone? A lot of YouTubers aren't going to tell you this. A lot of people who are in the filming industry aren't going to tell you this, but you don't need the best equipment to make the best videos. You don't need all this fancy editing to make the greatest videos. You don't need epic transitions to make the greatest videos. What you need, man, more than anything, dude, is it's right up here in your mind. It's your ability to create something from scratch that nobody has done, or an entrance or a way to tell a story that nobody's really done before. If you can develop that, or if you can just, even if it's bad at first, who cares, dude? Just run with it and let that develop. Our early videos were comical. They were hilarious. I can't even watch them now. We did them with cheap $80 cameras. But one thing that I look back on now is I remember, I know I just couldn't grasp the concept of what I was trying to translate in my brain to editing. So it was overkill. It was over edited. It was, my mindset wasn't there. I was trying too hard. I wasn't really true to myself. It was like I was trying to put on a show instead of just trying to be myself. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great YouTubers that know how to put on a show, and they are great at it. I'm not really. That's not my strength. My strength is to kind of edit around my character to where, I'm not gonna get at your face and, throw a big old cheese smile. Hey guys, oh look at this. I'm like, that's just not me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take you guys. You gotta know your strengths. So I don't care if you have a cell phone. I don't care if you have an $80 camera. It's all about how it it's all about just your creativity, man. This is the beauty about YouTube. This is the beauty about anything creativity, or anything that's created out of your head. I'll give you a great example, dude. There's a couple of movies out there that are blockbuster hits that were made on a cell phone. Just think about that. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't make a YouTube video on a cell phone. Are you gonna get made fun of? Probably, but just go with it. You know what I mean? Bend the curve. Is it possible? Okay, so Noe says, let's go down to the next question. Do you ever worry about the starport lock unlocking on you? Do you need anything special to secure them? No. So Noe brings up a good question. So the one time that I did lose, I lost about a $500 setup. I forgot to lock the starport. That's the only time, but that's user error. That's my failure. And what I ended up doing was I came up and hit it with, I think, my hand or something, and I knocked it off of its own starport without locking it in. GoPro went down, battery extender went down, and an $80 setup, GoPro mount, everything just went down. So you're looking at about, at that point in time, $399 plus that, plus the extender, $4. You're looking at actually about $450, dude. And that's somewhere out there. I need to see if I can recover that one of these days. I know exactly where it's at, too. Sucks. Probably still works. So, yeah, man, you got to be careful. Know the systems real well. If you're going to invest in a Railblazer product, which is what I use, every product, I believe, has a weak point or something where it needs to improve on. If I'm going to tell you my issues with Railblazer, just to be transparent about it, Um, be dang sure that you are locking it, like Noe said, and otherwise you're going to be losing expensive gear. Rinse it out. Railblaze. This really isn't their fault, right? But unfortunately, where I'm at, I'm in the salt, so I get a lot of salinity particles that just build up. If you're not rinsing out the actual starport inside, you begin to get a little bit of a buildup in there, and it can sort of make things a lot tighter than what they need to be. So sometimes unlocking and locking, you can get crystals in between all that. And there's not a lot of play on these starports. They really make them like on point as far as how they fit. There's not a lot of wiggle room unless something's wrong with it. But you can get particles, sand crystals in there, and it can just kind of make it a little difficult. But I rinse my stuff out, man. I don't have any issues, but I do have friends that do kind of complain a little bit about that. I'm like, well, dude, just clean your stuff, bro. Mario, you out there? Outdoor Mars is a YouTuber. If you guys want to see some other Texas fishing videos, go and check him out. So let's see. He has another question here. It is a little of a learning curve not to move your head. Oh yeah, he's talking a little bit. So Mario, outdoors with Mars, he does use he's on one of my episodes actually this year. Which one was it? I think we were fishing in the flats, catching some redfish. It was a little cold that day. Yeah. So there's a shot of you holding up that red, and it was kind of crimping up a little bit. If you guys go back maybe like 12, 13 videos ago, 14 maybe, you guys will see Mars. We were going out there having some fun, catching some cold water redfish. And he uses the action hat and the chest, everything, and does a great job with it. He's probably a lot better with it than I am, just because I just, when I started, I just used all these other ways of shots. So, if you like videos with those close-up shots and you like that kind of first-person shooter point of view, go check him out. He does a good job with that stuff. I like being the cameraman. Did it on my last video. Just need to learn. Sorry, I looked at something else when I said that. Just need to learn. I'm going back to school. Just debating on digital media or cinema. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Digital media, all that stuff right now is big. It's very big. And not just because of YouTube, but marketing, advertisement. There's a lot. I mean, if that's where your heart is at, I say go for it. I hate my voice on camera. Any chance to get a following without talking? You sound like my son, man. My son does not like his voice. My son is in this weird age where he sees my videos and he kind of wants to do it, and then he has his little YouTube group that he follows, and he tries to do his own little YouTube stuff, but not really on YouTube. He just records himself on an iPad. And Dad, I don't like my voice. Any chance I can do something about that? Sorry, dude. That's kind of what you came with, man. Dude, I don't like my voice either, man. It's just because you're not used to it. It sounds different. Obviously, right? I mean, it sounds different whenever you're hearing it from the outside versus inside. My voice sounds completely different from how I hear it versus how I hear it on the outside. So it's just one of those things, man, you just got to get used to, unfortunately. So yeah, man. So look for those long shots. If you're, invest in a good camera boom. Look for those long shots. Definitely connect them to your phone, your GoPros. What other else options are there to get epic shots? You've got Sony, you got those Ions, you've got Garmin. There's a new one, and I can't remember. JC with ACK had one on our last trip or 2 trips ago. I can't remember the name of it. but it definitely rivals the GoPro. And then, of course, there's GoPro. I've used both Sony and GoPros throughout my career, or fish or YouTube career, I guess you could say. Speaking of FPS, first-person shooter, what do you play, man? Call of Duty, dude. Is there anything else? Call of Duty, man, all the way. Xbox, look me up. Dual carbon drag. Obviously, right? If you guys ever want to play some Call of Duty, dual carbon drag, look me up. Xbox, it's my handle, dude. Don't be mad at when I'm not gonna say anything. Just don't be mad. Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, dude. Hopefully that helps, dude. Hopefully that helps. Taking pictures is the name of the game, dude. If you're in fishing in today's world, it's pictures can go a long way, man. Video recording, all that stuff can go a long way. I love it, man. You know, a lot of people see it as, I don't know. I mean, get some guys are like, what does it matter? But I enjoy sharing the fishing experience, dude. That's what kind of got me. Videography, filming, YouTube, all that stuff. When it opened up into the fishing world, it changed the game, man, a lot. You know, because as we all know, a fishing story can get told over and over, and it gets exaggerated in time. But when everybody was capable of making their own fishing show, it, you know, not to say that a video can't lie, but it's just, it makes it special, man. It's one thing, it's you know, it's one thing to make something happen by pure effort, and then it's another to recreate it the way that you want to tell that story. It's sort of like double pleasure for me, at least. And so, you know, I've been doing this filming and whatnot for not the longest time. I don't have a lot of experience on it, but enough to win a few awards, enough to do a world tour. That's probably the pinnacle of next level fishing as far as the videography goes. We did that. We traveled 349 cities. Our Selfish video. They were there's a festival that goes around the world once a year, and I think we got second place. We're a finalist, and first, second, and third got a chance to travel the world, man. It was that video just went around to every major event, and they debuted it. That was really cool, man. That was special. So it's changed, dude. It's changed, man. The world has changed when it comes down to fishing and showing off your catches, sharing them with family, friends. Doesn't have to be up to this level of, you know, whether it's magazines, video, making stuff like that. Just keep it simple, you know. This is too much work. You guys don't want none of this. No pics, no fish. Ram Garcia. Yeah, Jimmy's in the house, dude. Jimmy, man. Can I tell everybody what you caught recently? Or you want to keep that on the DL? Texas Redfish Fanatic says, what do you think of the GoPro Max with its ability to record in 360? Man, all those 360 cameras, dude, they need work. I mean, it's cool, right? When you see something new, you're kind of like, it's a different experience. You're just like, what is that? What am I watching? You're trying to just like soak it in. You're trying to comprehend it. You're trying to figure out, your brain's trying to figure out if it likes it. And it looks cool, dude. It looks cool, but I don't think it's there yet, man. I'm still a believer in just getting the shot. You know, 120 degree field of vision, 90 degree field of vision. getting that shot up close so you can see it as crystal clear as possible. Now, I'll tell you one thing: if the 360 could not have, if whenever you before it's stitched, and you could go in there and get that 120-degree angle like a traditional GoPro could, and you can pan with that without it looking too fisheye, then I think you got something to work with for a lot of people. But until then, man, to me it's just too much going on, dude. It's too much going on. Jimmy said yes. So Jimmy, man, Jimmy caught a nice trout this year, dude. What was it? 31? 30, 31? Maybe a 32. Caught a beautiful trout. Known Jimmy for a few years. I fished with him a few times. And, dude, it was a massive trout. I would show the picture of that trout right now on the phone, but I don't want you guys to see my kayak cropped in and my hands, photoshopped in. I don't want you guys to see all the work that I've done so that I can say that was my trout. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, man, congrats, dude. That's a heck of a fish, dude. It's a fatty, too. Hey, Chris, looking to get back on the water soon. Hero 8 thoughts. Still using Hero 4 still works good. Dude, let me tell you something, man. Is that blurry? No, it's blurry. I got my I don't feel like dealing with my manual focus. So, this is the Hero 8. It's good, dude. It's good. This is the 7. This is the 7. And then this is the 8. The 8 is pretty good. But the 7 and 8 are pretty comparable. What you're going to get a little bit better as far as just like what you and I would probably use it for. You get a little bit better sound out of the 8. The quality is about there. It's a little bit better. But you won't notice it unless you have that eye for it. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that you don't have the eye. I'm not trying to like degrade or anything like that. I'm just whenever you pay attention to, if you're big in tech and stuff like that, and you look at like, you're just like nitty gritty about performance. Sometimes you develop this eye to where like you start looking at two different that are so close. Some people just wouldn't know the difference, and then you get a guy who's really into the industry, and you can see the difference. Well, I can see the difference, and you might see the difference, but a lot of guys don't. And I would say, man, if you're in a little bit of a budget and you don't want to spend the full amount, you can't go wrong with the 7. And to be honest with you, there's a little bit of a housing change on the 8, just FYI. So there's not a lot of accessories for it. This right here, you're going to get the same accessories all the way down from Hero 5, all the way up to 7. So there's a lot of accessories for the 7, not a lot for the 8. One of the biggest changes is this side hatch. That's where your battery goes and your card. On the 7s, it's underneath. Same thing with the GoPro 6, same thing with the GoPro 5. So just a little something to... 31.75, almost 11 pounds. Man, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, he released it. Do I ever use drone to find fish? Nah. No, dude. Not really, man. For one, because that's way too much effort, dude. And man, Jimmy just keeps coming in my mind here. So according to Jimmy, just this stays between this channel and nobody else. All right, this is an intimate moment right here. We're getting ready to have. Jimmy was showing me something not long ago where it's actually illegal now to film wildlife with drones. That's gonna change things. at least here in Texas. So you can no longer, according to Texas Park and Wildlife, you can no longer fly a drone and watch fish. You can no longer do it. It's illegal. Which sucks because I don't really do that to locate fish. I do that for B-roll. But I'm going to continue to do it until somebody tells me not to. Unless you got to purchase a license. I don't mind doing that. What is a good length for the video? Man, I try to keep my videos under 10 minutes, dude. Most people will stick around for an 8 to 10 minute video. Once it goes into the 20-ish mark, you really start to lose a lot. But it depends on how good your videos are, man. Like, mostly all my videos have higher than 50% watch time. I've got a lot of them with like 60 to 70. The average is about 58, 59% of the people who watch my videos will at least watch more than half of it. And then you got the subscribers are always up there, 80, 90%. Watch time is important, dude. It's extremely important for ranking of your videos. So if you find that a lot of your videos are falling under 50%, just a little, like FYI, you need to do something different. Otherwise, your videos are not going to get noticed or picked up by the algorithm. So I try and keep mine between 8 to 10. They're both on sale, Luis. There you go. Using a drone takes a sport out of fishing. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you're using it to hunt fish, yeah, I can agree with you on that, dude. I mean, dude, I fish very. I use a lot of tech when it, batteries and fish finders and stuff like that, and I almost feel like that's kind of cheating, which it is, right? I mean, it's technology that's giving you an advantage, but there's a little bit of strategy into using and scanning structure. I think the 3D technology is that's just crazy, man. To see fish in real time, it's like playing a video game and looking through the water, I think that's a little too far. I don't know if I will adopt that anytime soon. I might just to show you guys, but I don't think I would enjoy fishing like that. But drones, if you're looking for fish like that, yeah, it takes the sport a little bit out, and it puts some things into perspective, especially if you're a tournament angler. If you're pre-fishing against somebody with a drone, it sucks because you're out there using all this energy to pre-fish and find fish, and then your buddy over here is just sitting back, finding fish, finding out where the schools are at with zero energy. So that may be why Texas Park and Wildlife did that. Who knows? You like that catch and cook? Yeah, dude. We're going to be doing more of those, man. I'm trying to find my groove on that catch and cook. I don't want it to just be straight cooking. I kind of want to take you guys on a little bit of an adventure. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. I think we found our intro finally on this last video. But I want to do some fun stuff, dude. About 5 years ago, I don't even know if this video's still on YouTube or not, but me and my buddy Matt, we went out to a spool island. We cooked a fish on an island, and I don't know if anybody had ever done that 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I don't even think catch and cook was even a thing back then. So Matt, I'm still good friends with. He's always texting me, and he was like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure we had the first catch and cook video." But I mean, not that it matters, dude. I mean, but here's the thing: cooking is in, dude. A lot of people are cooking. There are more people looking for cooking than there are for fishing. So, I'm always trying to absorb a different audience to help the sport grow. And if somebody really enjoys cooking, and now he's like, man, you know what? I want to go out there and catch and cook. I think there's a lot of room for that in that side of the sport to grow. David, yes. It took us a little bit, David, because of all of the COVID stuff. So we kind of had a little bit of like a month play there. They wouldn't even let me register it at first. But we did finally get that, yeah. So yes, we did get it registered. But Slick, I'm glad you enjoyed that catch and cook, dude. I think we've got some kingfish up next. We're gonna be doing some barbecuing pretty soon, dude. There's some cool things that we're gonna be doing with catch and cook. If you guys have not seen the catch and cook, we have three of them. We have a ceviche with trout. We have a whole flounder by obviously descaling and scoring, seasoning. And then our latest one was the redfish throat. I'm probably gonna do one more throat with snapper eventually. And man, that redfish throat was about palm of my hand, but I got a snapper throat that's about that big. It looks like, I mean, it's big, dude. It's real big. Let me see here. So yeah, what's up? Oh, Spanish mackerel and king recipes. We're gonna be doing some stuff there, kind of debunking all the rumors that kingfish is trash, doesn't taste good. I'll talk about that, and we'll get into the nitty gritty as to how to actually prepare that kind of fish, because it is a really good tasting fish that really, I don't know, is it a fishy fish? It's a little bit, but if you don't fillet it right, it's a very fishy fish. So there's ways to going about cooking king. There really are, and I'm gonna have fun kind of showing you guys that side of it. Think you'd have 100 subs with more posting frequency? Your average angler. So that's a good question, dude. So I'll tell you a little history about Next Level Fishing and our posting frequency. We really didn't start crunching out videos till this year. 2020, anything before 2019, 2018, 17, and I think we started at 16. Whenever we started actually like using this channel, it was created a few years before that, but we really didn't post any videos or anything. We only averaged like 8 videos a year for the longest time. Didn't really take it serious. We just had fun with it. YouTube was not the direction, like, to be successful at it wasn't really the direction we wanted to go. We just wanted to have fun with it, man. That was really it. And then it wasn't until 2019, I think we doubled our videos, and it didn't take that much more effort, so we went from like 8 to 16 videos. Typically, if you want to be successful in YouTube, you need to crank out at least bottom of the barrel one video a week. If you really want to get successful and you want to climb the ranks and subscribers, you got to do like 3 a week. So I'll tell you where I'm at right now. I am trying. We have this year. So this year is the first year. I think this year alone, at the beginning of the year, we had about 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers. Not much, just a good handful. This year alone, I told you guys that we were going to really pick up the pace to see what the workload was. So we had been cranking out at least an episode a week, sometimes 2. I think one time we even did 3 episodes in 1 week. And we doubled, it's the year's not even up yet. I think we're halfway through the year and we doubled. So yeah, man, it's kind of beginning to be real as far as that. We're starting to see a change in people wanting to jump on board and help us out, really starting to believe in the production level and what we're trying to do, the quality of fish. It's different, man. I think, and we have something working. And I can't really talk too much about it, but there's something in the works, but we won't see it till possibly next year. And that's even if all this works out. Something just fell on my lap recently, and I don't know where it's going, but it seems very promising. And it's for the sport of kayak fishing. And this year's just not a good year for it, but next summer I'll be happy to maybe talk to you guys about that. So to answer, I'm sorry, I always stretch these questions or answers out. Yes, if you analytically, when you take our analytics, which I know you guys can't see, if we were to, if we had opened up like we did this year and just crunched out like a brand new channel, I think 3 years we would have been there. Yeah, for sure. And we'll get there. We'll get there. The problem is we got to dig ourselves out of a hole. So our channel has seen a spike this year. So really this is the first year it's really been seen, where YouTube picks it up and is like, oh, okay, these guys are not just laying low anymore. They're actually making more content, and then it gets picked up. So a lot of our content is, we're digging ourselves out of that hole. So we're having to work a lot harder than probably a new channel. If we were to start a brand new channel and just start creating these videos like we are this past year, we probably would have had a little bit of a different turnout because it's new, and I don't know, Google's weird like that. Get with some restaurants owner. Get with some restaurant to have them cooking portions or promote small business owners. That's a good idea, Noe. Actually, we had been discussing that about 3 or 4 months ago, but it's hard now, man. It's ever since everything went down. We were gonna do that with 3 restaurants this year, and one of them was gonna be cool, dude, because we were going to share. So I haven't made a video or told the story of the boating tournament that we, which one is it? That one right there. So that is first place offshore division. That was a special, probably one of my funnest wins ever. That was there was an offshore boating tournament, the Saltwater Angler series had an offshore tournament, and they opened up kayak division. But it wasn't that they opened up a division. They actually opened it up just to kayaks. So basically boaters and kayaks could compete against each other. And it's typically never the case, right? I mean, you're comparing power versus manpower. And then you got a boater that can travel, to thousands of feet of water if they wanted to. It's just not fair. Well, we ended up beating the boaters. We took first place, and Kayak Angler magazine and some of the West Coast guys were just digging around and looking to see if that had ever been done. So far, there's no record of any kayak angler beating out an offshore tournament against boaters. So far, we've that's probably the only one that you'll hear of for a good while. And they're still actively looking for this. They did run an article on it somewhere around here. So that's special right there, dude. That's real special. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the boaters who we competed against is the manager for the restaurant that we're supposed to do a catch and cook to support his video. To support his restaurant. And we were going to sit down. He was going to cook us. He was going to cook us a fish, take you guys behind the kitchen, bring it back forward, and then have a conversation about how that felt. And sort of how their day went. And, because it's just, it was something different, something unique, something that hadn't been done before. And to be able to go full back circle, have him cook us a meal, probably poison our fish, but at least we get to crank out the content so you guys could hear that story. That was that was supposed to be a special episode. So we're probably going to push all that to next year. All this COVID stuff has just buried us, man, when it comes down to stuff like that. I didn't know that about the throat interior video. Will be Krypton the throat for now on. Oh. Yeah, dude. Redfish, Texas Redfish Fanatic. It's good, dude. Kings and Smacks are amazing. Mr. High Tension, yeah, they are, man. They really are. What size was what kingfish? The one that we won the tournament, or the one in the picture? If you guys saw that article, the kingfish that I was holding in that picture, that wasn't the actual kingfish that won. They just hand selected some photos that I had sent them. That tournament was won. It was a team event. It was James Sherko, Chris Myrick, and myself. Me and James hooked up on the fish on two kings, very close to each other. I think we ended up picking his. His had a little bit more weight. I can't remember the snapper. We both had snapper. I don't know whose snapper that belonged to, but it was so the boaters were allowed a 4-man team. We did it with a 3-man team. So we culled our fish together, and it was a combined weight between kingfish, cobia, and snapper. Our kings and our king was big, had a lot of weight. Our snapper didn't, but our king offset the weight, and we ended up winning that tournament by, I think, 8 pounds. Is how it went down. Yeah, first place. How far out do you paddle on your Trident 15? Man, I can paddle pretty far. I can do 1 mile, 2 mile. I can do 20 miles. I can paddle pretty far on that Trident. If I want to push myself. I think the most I've done on that, I think I clocked a 40-mile trip one time. We're testing. So we were going to do Laguna to South Padre Island, which is about 100 miles. And film it and just kind of get the community behind it. I don't think anybody's ever done it before. From JFK to Port Isabel, that big bridge, it's dangerous. That's not easy, and you got to be conditioned for it. We ended up not doing it because I ended up getting hurt. I ended up injuring my lower back and shoulder, so I needed about a year to rest. I'm back. I'm healthy. I'm good to go. So I'm going to revisit that here pretty soon to see what it's going to take. There's a few obstacles. We did a 40-mile run. No problem. Easy. The problem, though, is it's challenging, man. I'm going to need about a week to do it only because of the way the weather is here, the way the mosquitoes are here, and there's... it can be dangerous, man. You got to be careful. There's no cell phone reception in certain areas. And I've got to get a little bit more equipment. I'm going to be getting like a radar beam beeper so that you guys can actually keep track of my exact positioning on where I'm at. We were going to take a small team and do it just to become the first kayak anglers to do it. Ended up, like I said, not being as easy as we thought. The distance is easy. It's the conditions that are not. And the obstacles, the communication. There's a dead zone where there's a spot where there cannot be any air. And we're still going to film that. And this is going to be a great story when we do it because all this is going to come to light. My injury, what we learn, the test runs, and then the final run, hopefully, if we survive it. That's going to be special when it's all said and done. Let's see here. Just brought the same one. I just brought the same one. You have been an inspiration. I'm on the Chesapeake. Oh, dude, East Coast yakking. That's cool, man. My inspiration was some of you guys, man. Told this story before. I won't get too deep into it, but Rob Choi and Kayak Kevin, dude. Those are your East Coasters over there. That's actually his fish. That's Rob Choi's fish that he made for me. You guys have great anglers over there, man. I have a lot of respect for you guys. What kayak do I have? I have an Ocean Trident and I have a Predator PDL. I just sold one of my Vikings. I have a Malibu. I have a Vibe. I just sold an X13 and recently sold a Stealth 14. I had a lot of kayaks. I'm down to 2 now though, or 3. Sorry, I'm down to 4. Yeah. Am I planning on fishing new waters? Yes. I do plan on fishing new waters. We fished new waters this year, but fortunately some things came up and we weren't able to piece together an episode, but it's all right. We'll be back. I plan on doing some South Padre. I need to get in some new waters, dude. The most I'd ever traveled was 2 years ago when we went to Mexico, Florida, and then some other remote areas in Texas. That was an epic year. I would totally do that with you guys. Yeah, it's tough. You got to be conditioned for it, man. We've picked the brains of many guides who have attempted it. The longest run that we know of has been from South Padre to Yarborough Pass, and they never made it past that. There's also been some guys to do Baffin Bay to Corpus, so it seems that they've all done about halfway. And these are guides, these are strong paddlers. I think Dean Thomas is one of them. They vowed to it's tough, man. The problem is we have sailboat weather here in our area, man. And you can have 4 to 5 days of strong headwinds, 15 to 30 mile an hour. And if you have that, it changes everything, dude. You know, it goes from a 1 day nonstop paddle, if you want to do that, to it could take you over a week, you know, depending on conditions. Moving to Corpus here real soon. My house will be on the market next week. Time to start doing more fishing with you all good peeps. Man, yeah, Noe. Come on down, dude. East Coast Yakka says, Rob Troy started it for me. I call him Hammer. Dude, those guys are... They were the first guys that I had seen hammer fish, dude. Ah. Man, I could watch their videos all day. You did not like the Stealth kayak, Arturo? No, I like the Stealth. The Stealth is a good kayak, man. The Stealth is a very good kayak, actually. What happened is the Stealth, it has too much of a... I was trying to learn how to surf it. You know, each kayak is different. I couldn't surf the Stealth 14 because it has such a defined keel. It's not a flat bottom keel. It's not a moderate keel. It's an aggressive keel that prevented you from broaching on a wave. So, you know, whenever you get pitched over sideways, you can ride out a wave sideways. You guys have seen me do that plenty of times. I couldn't do it, man. It was too tough. I think on the flats it was great, super stable. You could walk up to the front of that kayak, no problem. It was a little slow though, you know. It took a lot of abuse from the wind, and unfortunately Corpus is it's windy, you know. So a great kayak, dude. I got nothing bad to say about them. I just ended up selling it because my outfitter also changed that year. So my new outfitter didn't have Malibu. So that relationship kind of dissipated a little bit. South Padre for sure. Yeah. I'd love to do BTB, but worried about paddling so far and don't have buddies or radio. Actually, would love to have a solo skiff to avoid the paddling. Man, it's not that bad. There's some areas here in Texas where you can catch good quality fish less than a mile out. If you can paddle 2/3 of a mile, 0.08 miles, you can get into some good fishing here. There's a starter rig that we have here in Corpus. If you ever come down, hit me up on Facebook. I'll show you where it's at. think it's time to add some bloopers to your videos. Man, you guys want to see some bloopers? All right, okay. All right, it's a good idea, Mars. I'll do a. I gotta wrap it up though. Like I gotta wrap up the bloopers, but I'm gonna show you guys some ridiculous bloopers that'll probably have you guys wailing. Oh man, there's a lot of good stuff. I'll title it something like "Next Level Kayak Fails" or something like that. 2020 and beyond. That's funny. You caught a 41-inch king? Yeah, dude. Let me show you guys the king. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to some of these questions, but Texas redfish. Okay, so let me see here. Let me show everybody what. Let's see here. Here's. I caught a few. I caught a hammer, dude. Let me see if I can resize this. There's the one there's the biggest one that I caught. This is a long king, man. Let me see if I can actually zoom in a little bit here. I didn't have my board, but I would say 48, maybe 49, possibly 50. That was a big king, dude. Was a big king, dude. Now, a big king. You want to see a big king? I'll show you guys my PB. And then I'm going to show you guys even something crazier. Since we're talking about kings. This one was longer than the record. State record. See if I can find it here. Or I could even show you whatever you guys want to see, man. Okay, here it goes. This one came in at 57.5, almost a 58-inch king. She was big, man. I mean, she was a monster, dude. That king right there, that year right there, I had also caught the selfie. That was such a great year. A lot of crazy things happened that year. So that was the year that we had the hurricane, and a lot of records were broken that year. So my tournament partner Poco Sadeo was. He caught that big, what was it, 12, 14-foot hammer or something like that. I ended up getting that huge king and followed by the sailfish. That year was just crazy, man, for fishing, dude. For whatever reason, man. I caught barracudas that year, like spooky barracudas, not like your peons, dude. Like barracudas that like you don't want to mess with, dude. It was just nuts, dude. Like I said, man, that was just a crazy year. Poco has an interesting concept about that, saying that it reset. He believes that it reset the fishery. There might be some truth to that, man. Might be some truth to that. What else did we get into that year? Man, I don't think I had. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. No. Just gonna show you guys. Let me see if I have that picture here. There's a picture that I don't show too often. Of the sailfish. It's actually I don't think I've ever showed it. But I don't know if I have it on here. It's a vantage point, so you can see how big it actually really is. A lot of people, they ask how big it is, and they don't believe me, but it was bent and taped at 87. But when you bend and tape something, it's much larger than that. It probably would have pushed 90 if it was measured properly. The record is I think 92 or something. So there's a lot of people think that I possibly had the record or could contend on it. But of course, if you're going to push the record, you got to kill it. And I just didn't want, I know what comes with that. And I wasn't going to go through all that. That's a headache. So I released it. Karma. Good karma. Water didn't look like that a week ago. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, dude. You want to see, dude, the water was beautiful. That week. I've gone out on some gnarly stuff, dude. Here, I'll show you guys a fun picture. Let's see here. Those are candy cane conditions, man. That's whitewash. So it's already curled. And that's whitewash that's, obviously over your head. So you're looking at easily 3.5. But when it curled, it was about a 5 foot. It was intimidating, nonetheless. Not 5, but maybe close to it. It's kind of hard to tell. See if I got a picture of that. Hang on. Yeah, it was a gnarly day, dude. The day that I caught that big king, that you guys saw in that picture. Here is, no, I don't have it. Dang it. Just to give you an idea, so that you guys can sleep good at night. I didn't even have it out all the way. Dude, that king almost flipped my kayak, man. That was scary, dude. I didn't believe how big it was. I was guessing like 45, and my buddy Boomy was with me, and he was like, I was like, what do you think, 45? Nah, maybe 50, maybe 52. 55? Bro, that's a big king. We got there, we finally measured it. It was crazy, dude. All right, man. I'm taking all y'all's time, but man, it's fun chatting with y'all. All right, so let me wrap up some of these questions y'all had, last few here, and then we'll call it a day. It's hit or miss this year. It's been good. Water has been great. Yeah, man. It is hit or miss. Last year there weren't many from the jetties. Yeah, no, I agree with you. The other issue is that we just can't fish in our areas, man, because we're locked down right now. We've not locked down, but we can only fish in a couple of not very well producing areas. Without saying too much, I can go out there and catch a 50 to 55 inch every single trip when it's timed out. Kingfish, I can go out there and catch snapper that will blow most boaters away. They'll freak out. They'll think that we're offshore. We have a very special fishery here in Corpus, man. Of course, nobody's going to tell you where to go, but there's obvious structure, and then there's not. Do I have that picture? I could show. Let me show you some impressive. I might not have it. I have it on my Facebook though. I recently went with the ACK, the general manager, JC, and we went fishing off the Corpus Christi coast into a secret spot, and oh man, dude, I wish I could show you these. Oh yeah, well I do have one here. Hang on. No, I don't. Excuse me. This picture doesn't do it justice. But my kayak, my Trident, is a 28-inch kayak. Those snapper right there were as wide as my kayak. And we got 3 of them. One of them was huge. You typically don't find snapper like that in kayak range off the Texas coast, but they're out there. The sail? You want to see the sail? Oh man, let's see. All right, twisting my arm. I got a lot of pictures of it. This sailfish was heard around the world, man. Not because it was a sailfish, but because it was a Texas sailfish. Let me see if I can show it here. I'll do it real quick and then I'll wrap things up. Last picture. If I could, I'd like to show you a picture I don't normally show of the sail, but I wasn't able to find it. I've got so many damn pictures. I'll show you a couple. One of them you've seen. That's a Texas sailfish, about a mile offshore in about 40 foot of water. And it's not so much that they're in our waters, but nobody's had video evidence of it. Nobody's been able to really, without a reasonable doubt, say that I've done it. There's been rumors, and I think there may be a picture, an old one of a real small one. Whenever we get them in, they're real small, man. And what made this one so special was that this was not a small, and it was the first video evidence that Corpus Christi does get sales, So, let me see if I can grab, you guys have all seen this one. This one was on the cover of Saltwater Angler magazine. Let me get a zoom in of it. It was a big sail, man. Big, unusual sail for our waters. Healthy. It's just crazy, man. So yeah, man, there's a lot of real good fish. Now, we are kingfish heavy here in Corpus. That's the thing. A lot of people, I don't want to go out there, we catch kings, that's all we catch. We catch a lot of Spanish mackerel, king Spanish, but they're a big snapper. There are a lot of spade fish. There are huge cobia. Yes, there's occasionally sailfish. There's definitely barracuda. A lot of jacks. A lot of sharks. There's a lot of different species, man. It's just that the learning curve is different because you're kingfish heavy and you're Spanish heavy. So those are your easiest species to get. But if you learn how to target the other species and you fish for the other species, Texas has a fishery that we may not get the exotics of consistent mahi and sailfish, although they are in reach. We do see them, but we don't get that mass migration number. But we get other things, and our snapper quality, our cobia quality, our kingfish quality. Just the combination of those three is second to none. And then all the rest is kind of a bonus to take advantage of. So it's very special here in Texas. And we're protected by our weather. You know, we don't have the luxury of constant smooth sailing weather like Florida does. So Mother Nature here almost protects our fishery because we can't go out there all the time. And it saves it, man, and it's always good, dude. When it's good, if you know what to look for. Yeah, there's some shipwrecks, man, or what's left of them. Definitely get into shipwrecks. Yeah, man. I mean, if you know, I'll definitely don't go by yourself, especially if you're new, man. Um, you need to make sure that you're going with somebody that knows what's going on for your own safety. Swing on by, come on by, man. If I'm not doing anything, I'll be more than happy to help you out. For some reason, we launch out of Port A near the pier. For some reason, I thought you usually launch. No, man, I don't launch out of Port A. I will offshore fish anywhere between Port A. I mean, I do launch out of there. I have. I mix it up, dude. I'm all over the place. I'm anywhere from Port Aransas to South Padre. A lot of people don't know that. I go down that far, but I do. Yeah, no, you don't want to go on your own. All right, guys. Well, I hope I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I know we got off subject, but that's all good, man. A good conversation is a good conversation. I don't mind going off subject. I just thought I'd kind of show you guys what I use to get pictures, to get good videography. Maybe answer some questions about different shots. We talked a little bit about headgear, chest gear, Robles and mounts. Then of course we got off subject like we usually do, and we talked a little bit about the Texas offshore fishery. We talked a little bit about how the fishing went at the beginning of this video, and then we got into some storytelling, beating the machines, filming some catch and cooks that didn't happen this year because of COVID, but they will happen. And we're working on something here pretty big that will be displayed next week. What else? The channel's growing great. We doubled in size in less than a year, in 6 months, because we begin to push out more content. We're going to continue to do that. Now we've sort of been rolling, and we're prioritizing YouTube for the first time in history, in Next Level Fishing's history. And we're going to continue to do so. A lot of big things are in the works. We're got some shirts that we're getting ready to basically they're not necessarily next level fishing shirts. They're just kayak fishing shirts. You'll begin to sort of see those roll out at the bottom of our videos. We're still kind of in the design works, but I'm rolling those out for you guys here pretty soon. And they'll help us. They'll help the channel. It's just a little something to fill in our pockets and help us along, dude. There's big trips that obviously we got to pay for. There's new equipment that we want to get this coming year, and it all helps out, man. Helps us kind of return everything to you and make a better quality fishing video. But until then, my friends, look for a behind-the-scenes episode coming up. Look for a... if you're new to this channel, before I go, let me just tell you how this thing works. We have a behind-the-scenes, which is kind of like vlogging. We have a Top Gear episode, which is gear that we it's top gear. It's kind of like gear that we sort of review, kind of put it under the microscope, uh, kind of get inside of it. What is it made of? What is it? The components? Is it good? Do we believe in it? Kind of thing. And then we got the best of next level fishing playlist. These are playlists that I'm like series. Catch and Cook. Did I already say? I think I already did. The best ofs are voted on. So our best videos that we've ever popular by demand, basically. That's a great playlist if you want to see some of our top videos that have gotten a lot of attention. But if you're just a gearhead, man, if you love all the tech and all the cool new gadgets that come out, definitely check out the Top Gear playlist. If you just love vlogging, man, and if you kind of want to see us travel, a little bit of fishing, a little bit of testing out kayaks, a little bit of just talking about different things, lifestyle, whatever. It's not full production, but it's vlog production. You can check out behind the scenes. And then, of course, if you just love to go out there and live off the land and you want to go out there and kayak fish, maybe pick up some cooking recipes, check out our new Catch and Cook. So thanks for sticking with me, man. Holy smokes, you guys are troopers. Talked to you guys for almost 2 hours. What the heck is wrong with us? We got problems, boys. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful week, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. I appreciate the support, the love, everything, man. It's my reward to have you guys part of everything that we're doing here, man. So y'all have a wonderful weekend, man. And stay tuned, man. We've got some stuff in the works.